neck and neck. Who's got the lead? Rico Tringali gonna win it! Rico Tringali just stole a win from Karen Vieira. Ethan Rogers looks like he's gonna pass Michael Amato. Michael Amato's shot at a win here is over.
I don't know who to trust. No surprise. Everyone feels so far away from me. Heavy thoughts sift through dust and the lies. Trying not to break, but I'm so tired of this deceit. Every time I try to make myself get back up on my feet, all I ever think about is this. All the tiring time between and how.
Ready to go racing in race 18 of the Season 3 NAMAR Mountain Voltage Cup Series season. We are here at Road America for the first race of the Contender Round, and on the front row is chaser Benjamin Tilton, and filling in for Jean Harrell the rest of the year is Henrietta Fitzwater, who starts second. Now, she didn't do so good here in the part-timers race, but her brother did. I believe it's her brother, Zachary Fitzwater, who will be starting fourth alongside Kate Rogers, who also advanced to the next round. He won that race through strategy. Row 3 had two drivers that, if they had made it, they would have been in good standing, but they did not. John Linares and Michael Amato failed to make the Contender Round. Row 4, Stephanie Manas and Steve Carvalho, who has won here before. And then row 5 is Allison Rogers, who also failed to make the Contender Round, and Nolan Bergeron. Other chasers that have continued making it: Zachary Rogers and Logan Scott together in row 6. Peyton Goodwin will start 18th. Karen Vieira will start 20th. Frank Hopkins, who's going to fill in for Austin House for 2 races, starts 22nd, by the way. Tony Vieira starts 23rd. James Morton starts 27th. Nathan Rogers starts 28th. By the way, Austin House did not make it to the next round, and so whatever, he's not racing. Big book. Kate Harrell, who made it through the part-time, starts 29th. Scott Greeny starts 35th. Janice Reese, who made it through part-time, starts 36th. Michael Parker will start 40th. And yeah. So getting ready to go green. So we head over to the TV2 camera. 12 laps of racing, maybe two or three pit stops. 3 at the most, I'm sure. 12 laps. So green flag is out. We're underway here at Road America. But the first road course race of the chase, and Zachary Fitzwater decided to go 3 wide, and that's going to shove Benjamin Tilton off the track. And crazy racing as Henrietta Fitzwater, it seems, will try to take the race lead here. No cautions, by the way, for today's race. Nobody has wrecked yet. Henrietta Fitzwater taking the race lead for now, with brother Zachary Fitzwater in third. Now, I don't know what happened, but I know that during the part-timers race, Trey Phelps and Chris Corando were having a heated battle up front, and then suddenly on lap 3, I stopped accelerating the race, and I found out that Trey Phelps had wrecked the car and was on pit road, and Chris Corando had front-end damage and was riding along the front stretch. So I don't know what happened, but they probably racing so hard that they wrecked each other. There's no wreck still. But John Linares is doing a good job so far in 5th. Michael Amato has fallen back a little bit, and Steve Carvalho is holding his own as Zachary Rogers has been moving his way up here, as has Allison Rogers. But no challenge so far yet to Henrietta Fitzwater, but it looks like Benjamin Tilton is going to try that right here as we come through the final turns on lap 1. This track takes about 2 minutes to go around. So now Zachary Fitzwater will look for second place on Benjamin Tilton. Ooh, Scott Greeny way in the dirt. And that's going to screw him over for now. Henrietta Fitzwater still in the race lead. They have kind of trained out for now, but oh, Zachary Fitzwater got loose. That's going to allow John Linares to go by for third. And it's going to slow up Stephanie Manas maybe a little bit here. Janice Reese back here along with Michael Parker, who barely made it into this round along with James Morton. Michael Parker not having a good start to this round so far. Almost 3 wide back here. There's James Morton. We mentioned Frank Hopkins filling in for Austin Alves for 2 races. Somebody else in the dirt up here might have been Jim Morton. Robert Rogers driving a special road course car. As you will start to see drivers that know how to work this track better than others, as Zachary Rogers and Steve Cavallo appear to be fighting for what I believe is 8th. So far, Zachary Rogers is holding that spot. But Cavallo wants to get by him. He's one of the best at road courses. And Benjamin Tilton has not let go of Henrietta Fitzwater. These drivers tend to pit on laps 3 and 4. It's been kind of a good race so far. I thought it would be more boring, but if they can stay to each other's bumpers, it's going to be pretty good. Now Kate Rogers challenging sister Allison for 6th. As Steve Cavallo will go by Zachary Rogers for 8th place here, it seems. Yep, he completes the pass. As now Benjamin Tilton's going to challenge for the race lead on Henrietta Fitzwater. John Linares almost splitting the gap there. John Linares is right there on the back bumper. Henrietta Fitzwater will fall to Benjamin Tilton. And Tilton had a much better lap last time than Henrietta did. We'll see if he can pull away. As now John Linares has lost 3rd to Zachary Fitzwater. So Zachary and Henrietta are teammates for Richard Childress Racing. And we have not had any wrecks, which I guess is a good thing, considering it's Road America. Steve Cavallo has a good car, but it looks like he might have been getting held up by Zachary Rogers. As now Cody Russell will win in the dirt. He loses 13th to Jim Morton. But the fastest lap has gone to John Linares and Benjamin Tilton, who are up at the front. Nobody out of the race. Farthest car back is Nico Tringali over 16 seconds back. And now he's trying to get by Janice Reese for 40th. As you can see, as we go through the field, it is very interesting. Will anybody pit here is a big question, even though it's only lap 3. Yep, Benjamin Tilton, Henrietta Fitzwater, Zachary Fitzwater all coming in. Kate Rogers, Steve Cavallo, Logan Scott, Michael Amato, Cody Russell, and others. Some drivers going in the dirt. So there will be drivers taking 3 stops and drivers taking 2 stops. But John Linares, Stephanie Manas, and Allison Rogers, top 3 that stayed out. 4th is Zachary Rogers, and 5th is Nolan Bergeron. So we take that quick break there so I can start a new clip. So John Linares still leads. We had a total of I don't know how many cars stayed out. Benjamin Tilton already out of pit road. It looks like he might have hit the wall. That wall is tight coming out. Cavallo is right on the back of the 31 car now. And Zachary Fitzwater is already making a move to go by Benjamin Tilton. Steve Cavallo is dangerous on road courses. I would expect him to at least maybe win one of either this race or Kyalami. I would kind of expect him to win. And Tilton might have some damage from hitting the wall, as now Cavallo is going to go 3 wide. We're going to stay here. We know the other drivers are probably going to pit. Cavallo gets by Tilton. Can he get by Henrietta? Henrietta's going to get more of a run off the turn. Come back to this battle later. And we have to see whether John Linares is going to pit or not. It looks like everybody that stayed out will pit. And as I said, there will be a group that will be 2 pit stops and 3 pit stops. Zachary Fitzwater currently leading his group, as now Steve Cavallo will finally get by Henrietta Fitzwater. Now Cody Russell goes in the dirt here. That's going to slow him way up. But Cavallo is now 1 more spot behind Zachary Fitzwater. As we see these drivers all come out of pit road. Zachary Fitzwater will have to hit the brakes here. And that gives the lead to John Linares. With Stephanie Manas behind him for second. Zachary Fitzwater is in third. Fourth is going to be Allison Rogers. Henrietta Fitzwater trying to take back what will be fifth now. Sixth, Steve Cavallo. Seventh is Zachary Rogers. Eighth is Benjamin Tilton. Ninth, Logan Scott. And 10th, Jim Morton. We had 15 cars pit the second time around. So it'll be interesting how this strategy plays out. As now Tilton is in the dirt. And he will lose the spot to Logan Scott. But everybody is still pretty much together. Nobody flew away from anybody in like the part-timers race. That happened. People went away from other people. Nobody's wrecked, and they're all pretty much together. Not much of a spread of the pack like in the past races here. And we'll be able to figure out where everybody is once they cross the stripe. Steve Cavallo is in sixth. And another pit stop might help him, might not. My guess is staying out an extra lap might help him better. But John Linares in the race lead, looking for his second win of season 3. He won back at Martinsville. And I don't remember, he has not won on a road course before. And Stephanie Manas has never won a race before, so. Oh boy, almost going 3 wide for the race lead, but Stephanie Manas decided not to do that. As Zachary Fitzwater is looking for second. Cavallo is falling way back. And they must have taken 2 tires or something. But Logan Scott has been coming up through the field. He's up to 7th now. Cavallo now is actually back up to the 31's bumper, so I'm guessing the 31 might have made a mistake. And Cavallo's all over the bumper, and he's going to push the 31 out. At least I thought he was. Henrietta giving him plenty of room. But Logan Scott has just been flying up here. Kate Rogers now hitting into the dirt. Peyton Goodwin's looking there for 14th, I mean. As we go back through the field here. Oh, and Janice Reese and Alan Cavanero must have gotten together because they are way back here. So is Ryan Shea. We will take a look at that during the next pit stops. And Stephanie Manas is looking for the race lead on John Linares. Side-by-side racing for the race lead. As drivers that pit before are going to pit now. So let's see what happened to Alan Cavanero and I don't know who the other driver was. Here it is, Cavanero and Janice Reese racing. Well, Janice Reese is a lap down. Cavanero's way back here, and he just gets into the back of the 36. He's just going to spin around and back his end into the wall, and so does Janice Reese. Now, why was Ryan Shea so far back? Okay, he's not far back here. What happened to Ryan Shea? Ryan Shea's running up here. Did he pit? Ryan Shea came in the pit road early. Okay, whatever. Let's get you back to your racing. We're back to racing now. So you saw what happened to Cavanero and Janice Reese. And Ryan Shea pit a lap early for whatever reason. He's got some strategy going on. So Stephanie Noss first, John Lanier second, third is Allison Rogers, fourth Zachary Rogers, fifth is Jim Morton, sixth James Morton, seventh Robert Rogers, 8th, Nolan Bergeron, 9th, Karen Vieira, and 10th is Adam Rogers. So mostly the same drivers that stayed out last time. As Cavanero stayed out, but now there's Zachary Fitzwater, and Steve Cavallo makes up more ground. Logan Scott behind him, and Henrietta Fitzwater lost a ton of ground. Ryan Shea is now back together with this group. But Henrietta Fitzwater losing a lot of ground. Zachary Fitzwater here. Then Cavallo and Logan Scott, but they most likely will have to pit one more time. Stephanie Vanasse is pulling away from John Linares a little bit here. So they will come in for their stops in a minute here. Nobody out of the race. So coming through the final turn. And these drivers are actually pitting early a lap. They're pitting on lap 7, so it looks like everyone might have to take 3 stops. Which might be why Shea took his stop early. So Zachary Fitzwater, then Steve Cavallo and Logan Scott, the highest of their group. And we'll see where this puts them out against the other drivers here. And Allison Rogers gets by Stephanie Vanasse. There goes Zachary Fitzwater again. And now that puts Allison Rogers the leader, Stephanie Vanasse second, and Zachary Rogers in third. Zachary Fitzwater is fourth, and Steve Cavallo is fifth. Logan Scott sixth, seventh Jim Morton, 8th John Linares, 9th James Morton, and 10th is Michael Amato. So that is very interesting. And Janice Reese and Alan Cavanero are going to be way behind everybody. And Benjamin Tilton has lost anything he had before. So that's a tough break after starting on the pole. This Cavanero is going to be way behind everybody else. Frank Linares retired. What? Frank Linares is retired for whatever reason. So let's take a break from the racing action and see what happened to him. This is what happened to Frank Linares. Was just going in too hot and just doesn't get the brakes stopped in time and just plows into the back of Michael Beeson. And that ruins his car, so he retired. Let's get you back to live racing. Live racing as Allison Rogers, who won Papyrus last year in the chase, is leading. And it's funny how she is no longer in the chase, and she is doing really good today. I guess that's just bad luck. Zachary Rogers was third, still is third, but Zachary Fitzwater is looking to take that spot away. Cavallo is in fifth, and Scott is in sixth. As the field seems to be a lot more spread out. There's Michael Beeson with his back end damage. There's Shea taking probably his last stop of the day. And as you can see, the pack is a lot more spread out as now Sam York went way off the track. And yeah. Zachary Fitzwater not able to make the pass by the 3 of Zachary Rogers. Looking at the laps, Steve Cavallo is fast. 7th fastest. Zachary Rogers 6th. Logan Scott is 5th. Allison Rogers has the 3rd fastest car on the track. So don't count anybody out until we get to the final pit stop, because Logan Scott just ran a pretty fast lap late in the race here. John Linez does not seem to have a car right now anymore. James Morton doing a good job here. Amato doing a good job after not making it to the next round here. As Henrietta Fitzwater has fallen to 11th. But does anybody have a shot to stop Allison Rogers? We have not had one chaser so far win a race this season. And next week we'll be heading to New Hampshire. So now Stephanie Manas is looking for the lead on Allison Rogers. Remember, these top 3 did not pit. Do not pit on this lap. And Zachary Rogers went way off the track. Now Allison Rogers is actually going to pit this lap. Zachary Rogers just lost a lot of ground, so he's probably screwed now. And it looks like strategy is changing now, because Allison Rogers did not originally pit with these drivers. So Zachary Rogers lost a ton of time, 2 seconds to be in fact, and that's kind of a lot on a road course. But Stephanie Manas is in the lead here, and I'll be back in a second. We are back. I just wanted to set that up. And Janice Reese and Peter Sands just got into it on pit road, and Peter Sands just got screwed over again. So he'll straighten his car back out. Who got out of this group first? There's Shea. And Allison Rogers is way ahead of Zachary Fitzwater. Steve Cavallo is 3rd in that group. Logan Scott's 4th. Jim Morton 5th in that group. And Amato is 6th in that group. Not many drivers actually stayed out of these guys this time. Still 41 cars in the race. We'll see what Stephanie Manas does here, coming to 2 to go. And she's going to go into the pits. So will Zachary Rogers. John Linares, James Morton. Karen Vieira. Michael Santos. And Adam Rogers. Here comes Allison Rogers and Zachary Fitzwater here. So let's see who comes out of the pits. Stephanie Manas is going to take the race lead from Allison Rogers. So now with 2 laps to go, Stephanie Manas has the race lead. Allison Rogers 2nd. Third is Zachary Fitzwater. Fourth, John Linares. Fifth, James Morton. Sixth is Zachary Rogers. Might be taken by Steve Cavallo, who's in seventh. Eighth, Logan Scott. Ninth, Jim Morton. And 10th is Michael Amato. And here's the rest of the field. So unless Allison Rogers has a really good card, I can catch up to Stephanie Manas in like 2 laps. Stephanie Manas might have her first career victory. Coming at a road course too is pretty good. But I think the 51 is catching her. And it looks like Allison Rogers is coming up fast. Stephanie Manas might have taken a no-tire gamble or something. But Allison Rogers is flying up here now. We'll watch the lap times here. As white flag will be out. Does Allison Rogers have the time to catch and pass Stephanie Manas? 4 miles to go here. And Allison Rogers knows she has to go if she wants this win. She does seem closer than she was before. Let's watch as they come into this turn. Stephanie Manas will reach 182. Allison Rogers makes a 183, but Allison Rogers has got to hope Stephanie Manas makes a mistake, like get in the dirt or something. Highest chaser is James Morton, who's in 5th. Steve Cavallo 6th. Logan Scott 7th. 8th, Zachary Rogers. So you got 4 chasers right here. Then you have to go all the way back to 13th to see Karen Vieira. Somebody just hit the dirt. Might have been Jim Morton. Logan Scott going way off the track here. So we're coming closer to the end of the track. It looks like this is Stephanie Manas getting her first career victory here. No other wrecks have happened here today. As we come through one of the last turns. Excuse me there. 2 turns to go for Stephanie Manas. Coming to the checkered flag. Stephanie Manas' pit strategy will steal a win. Stephanie Manas wins her first career race in the Mountain Dew Voltage Cup Series. She wins it at Road America. She put down a pretty good lap, the 10th best actually. But Allison Rogers put down a good lap too, the 3rd best. So she was catching Stephanie Manas, but she just did not have the time. So congratulations to Stephanie Manas. 3rd is Zachary Fitzwater. So that's pretty good for him because he won the part-timers race here and he finished 3rd here. That's pretty good. 4th is John Linares. 5th, James Morton. 6th is Road Course Pro Steve Cavallo. 7th, Logan Scott. 8th, Zachary Rogers. 9th, Jim Morton. And 10th is Michael Amato. Henrietta Fitzwater ended up finishing 11th in her first fill-in for Gene Harala, so I'm sure they're happy about that. Because Gene Harala was just so terrible. Well, that's Contender Round race number 1 and Chase race number 4 done for you today. Hope you enjoyed today's race here at Road America. We will see you at New Hampshire.